I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for joining us. Welcome to the March 2023 Mount Jewett Borough meeting. As we always do, we will start with anyone wishing to address council. There are several of you out there, so who wants to go first?
I will go first. Carolyn Stroop dropped this off for kind of a thank you for the MJ2KB for the Trail of the Year presentation, so she wanted to give that to Barb.
She did say she wanted that read.
Oh, she wanted sorry.
Either you can read it or Barb can read it, or I can read it. Somebody's got to read it.
Go ahead,
I don't
Kelly.
know how to read, so here we go.
Use your projecting.
Oh, there's pictures. Oh, good. Thanks. A big thank you to the Mount Jewett Borough Council for helping to make our event with Congressman G.T. Thompson a success. MJ2KB Trail Club appreciates all the support you and Mayor Brianna and Howard have given our club and the rail trail, Carolyn Street. That's very kind.
That's very kind. It was a successful event. We had a wonderful turnout both at the trailhead and back here at the Borough Building. Barb did an incredible job setting up this room to accommodate all those people. So thank you, Barb, for that.
Yes.
And for helping to celebrate this achievement for our community.
Alright, so Hilltop Heritage has a couple of things to address. In 2022, we had 6 events for Music on 6 occur. With that, each event that we had donations given to us, we would like to present a check for $543.10 from those 6 events that we would like to give to the borough. But I would like some sort of picture so we can show that we gave that. Marilyn's here.
Can we do it at the end?
We can do that at the end. But yeah. So we're excited because we have been given from our art committee that we will be doing a 2023 Music on 6 as well. And we do hope that this money helps with that project for the amphitheater. The playground, we do have the $5,000, and that was given to us from the McKean County Community Foundation. So Marilyn is here to talk about. You don't have to.
Well, I had to do a narrative on February 15th of what we were going to be doing with the money. I wasn't in contact with Miss Eddy, and I told her that we were planning on using some of that to maybe put in a new swing set, a couple of benches. She said that is fine, but the money does have to be used by the end of the year.
And we do know there's a committee starting and stuff. We just think that would be awesome if not for the baseball season, but maybe by Swedish Festival. And that would definitely spend that money by the end of this year. So we're hoping for more updates from the committee on that. So. In addition, we have been in talks with the Wolf Creek Run management for a marathon that will be occurring during Swedish Festival on Sunday. They have dedicated the Hilltop Heritage as a designated.
Is that this Sunday? You said on Sunday.
Swedish Festival.
On Sunday, Swedish Festival. Okay, thank you.
Sorry. But as designated, and all the extra money that they receive, I think it's over and above $1,000 profit we receive. That money is earmarked for more benches for the town. We do not know how much that's going to be. It really depends on the different options that they have available and how successful they are. But they will have, I can't remember, like a 10K, a 2-mile walk.
2-mile walk. It's a 10K, 5K, 2-mile walk, and a 1-mile run.
Yeah.
I think that's what
So there's
it is.
lots of options, and each of those will have obviously people that pay to run, and it's a really big deal. So we're excited about that. But we will be designated the money for that, so we're excited to have that. And then we'll be talking with the borough again about where do these benches go and address that, since now our sidewalks are here for the most part. So that
is that the same race that Linda Myers puts on?
Yes. Yes.
And they're hoping to bring back the Swanson name. I know the Bob Swanson name was a big deal with one of the
Yeah, they want
marathons.
to try to bring that back, the name.
So that's a goal. We also are set for May 20th, the spring fling. So this will be our 3rd annual spring fling with the yard sales and the food vendors. Right now we're at 4 food vendors, 3 craft vendors, and then 2 yard sales so far. And the applications have only been out for about 2 weeks. So we're hoping for good weather for that. And we'll be at the fire hall, so be aware or sign up to attend, or not attend, but participate. Through the library. Go ahead.
What days of fall hall or spring fling?
May 20th,
20th.
Saturday. On library news, okay.
About that, I don't know if Brett or Barb knows, is there a chance that the fire hall will again be filled with construction equipment at that time, do we know?
There's a possibility, but all they have to do is the actual ramp to the fire hall and this small section of sidewalks. So I assume, as soon as we get good weather, they should be knocking this out. It shouldn't take much time at all. All the conduits in, it should literally be a week.
Perfect.
So they can almost stage what they have here and fill a lot.
Perfect, thank you.
On behalf of the library, we will have a music bingo on April 7th. That is a Friday. We know it is Good Friday. The game does not start until 7:30, so we are encouraging people to go eat their fish at the fish fry, and then come down and play music bingo with us.
Where is that at?
This will be at the fire hall. In addition to that, we also have a prom that is being hosted by the Mount Jewett Memorial Library, and that is set for May 6th, Saturday, and that will be down at the Legion. More information to come on that, but tickets will be $10 a piece.
Also starts at 7.
Starts at 7. All right. Oh, memorial brick. We have money earmarked for a memorial brick to be purchased for a Swanson.
Yeah.
Officer
for
Swanson?
Russell Swanson,
Thank
yes.
Not Russ Swanson.
No, Russell, he was a police officer here years ago. We had, Lynette, I think, had talked to you, and the paper that she was given said it was $80, but you told her it was $100. So we just needed that clarified so we can get this brick bought.
I think they increased, so that's why we took it up to
Is this for
100.
the Heritage Park?
Yeah.
Yeah. The cost increased from 2007 when we first purchased them, and we went up.
Yeah.
So the forms were incorrect, and we actually have to check right now with.
I'll have to check with them and see how much.
Okay, yeah, just get us an updated,
Okay.
form,
Yeah.
and we'll get that filled out and
Okay.
get the money over to you guys, because we do have it earmarked for that.
How long does that usually take when a brick is purchased? And I know it's post-COVID, so it might be completely different than it used to be.
Been a while.
Okay, all right.
Been a
Couple
while since
weeks.
we've had one.
Okay,
Couple weeks.
good deal. All right. Thank you for your time.
Is that it? All right. Anyone else have anything to address before council? Okay, we will close the public comment, move on to the business portion of the meeting. The mayor is currently absent, so the mayor's report is that she's not here. But I will take the opportunity at the top of the business meeting to let people know we are currently streaming live on Facebook. This is something that we talked about in the last meeting, and the last couple meetings, is we're going to work on providing video of the meetings. It'll be streaming live on Facebook after the meeting is over. It'll be available, and we'll talk a little bit more about it later, but bear with us if you're having trouble hearing us, or if there's any problems with the video. This is our first time doing this, and we're trying to work the kinks out, so hopefully we get a nice clean video this time, but I'm not going to make any guarantees up here. So, like I said, we'll get to that a little bit later under, I believe, old business. So, for the meantime, we will move on to the maintenance report.
I'd like to point out, as far as, I don't know if everybody's noticed, the pine tree's gone up there across from the school, in front of, across from Panestelli's. How nice that looks to see those being gone. 4 big pines. 2 of them, I'm surprised haven't come down prior to that, but thank you, Barb, for getting through the railroad. I know that can be a major pain, because I know when I was mayor.
Actually, it was very easy. I sent an email and he directed it to the place I had to go. I just went online and got the maintenance, who does their maintenance of their properties.
I would like to make a comment in relation to this maintenance report. Obviously it's snowing right now. The guys are gonna be back out there doing their best to keep the roads clean, and I just wanna remind everyone that it is our responsibility as citizens to do our part to help with that effort, especially those of us along the Highway 6 corridor. We have our sidewalks. There is an ordinance that says we have to keep those clean, a clear passageway, and not just for the ordinance. These are our friends, neighbors, families, going to the post office, going to the bank. We shouldn't be making that harder for them, making them have to trudge through snow, possibly slip and fall and hurt themselves. So I just hope everyone remembers it's been an odd winter. We haven't had to do this as much, but it's here, we're doing it, and let's all do our part to make sure that our sidewalks are clean, our roads are clean. I know the guys are working hard, so let's help them out and all do our part. That's all, I just wanted to make that comment.
I'll make a motion to accept the maintenance report.
All right, motion by Chris, seconded by Tom to accept the maintenance report. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we'll move on to the Borough Manager report. Barb?
I got a hold of E&M Engineering. They called Friday. I have to return his call. They'd like to come up and walk the area we're interested in. If you guys are still interested in doing that, they're more than happy to work with us again. I had to guarantee them that the problem that happened last time with a certain person wouldn't happen again. Jason and I spoke to Tracy Frampton about getting help with from the Eats group to do the next grant for the pocket park. He told us that he would charge $750. When we discussed it with Erin Worley, she was very adamant that she really thought a lot of Tracy and how well he does with the grants, and we just kind of got a feeling that maybe if he was involved in it, we might have a better chance. And go ahead.
This is the same grant that Barb and I already applied for previously. Now, the forms weren't quite right, but we did our best effort. We did not get that grant. It does cost a little bit to apply for these grants. And so the thought that we had with this, and the reason we're bringing it before council to discuss paying the $750 to hire someone, is it's not so much, it's obviously not a guarantee, but we feel like it dramatically increases our chances of getting that grant. So then it's, in that regard, if we get the grant, it's an investment toward that, as opposed to just taking a gamble on funds. I feel confident, and I think Barb feels confident, that we would have a better shot of being successful with this grant submission with his assistance than without, because we've already been down that road.
And this will be the last grant we're able to use the $120,000 for our match.
Yeah.
So if we utilize Tracy Frampton's services, where would that $750?
I would recommend taking it out of the ARPA fund. We have some money in there right now, and taking it out of there because since it is for recreation.
And we also have the donation from the coalition for
Yeah,
$540, which would cover almost all but 200 of it, 210.
And when I do my report for the ARPA by the end of April, that project is already in there because that's what we decided that the designing and all that would go from. Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we appropriate and hire this grant writer to Tracy Frampton to do that.
All right, there's a motion by Chuck on the floor.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Brett. Any further discussion? Sally, did you have input before we vote?
I just think it would be awesome if this money went towards that, because then we could definitely show the people that showed up for Music 96 that every dollar does count. If that helped you guys get the grants and stuff, that would be awesome, and that would really help so much of the stuff.
All right, motion by Chuck, seconded by Brett to retain Tracy's services. Yes.
What you're saying is we're not going to put out the whole $750.
We're going to be putting, well, the 540 is coming in. It's earmarked for the amphitheater, so that would go towards.
So we're only taking a couple hundred out of it.
Yes.
We're taking out about 210.
All right.
All right. Motion by Chuck, second by Brett. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
Okay, if you guys want to rent the street sweeper again this year, we probably should get a decision in because We checked with another,
Rick and Ann,
yeah, they charge $4,500 for a week.
they charge more.
Yeah.
Did we call
I haven't
down?
I called this other one, but she hasn't got back to me yet. But they're scheduled out. The other place is scheduled out till June. So you might want to, decide if you want to do it. We did, budget $3,500 for it. That's entirely up to you guys if you want to wait and see, because they have to do the lines still on
Yeah.
Main Street, right?
That would be the contractor.
Right, so they're going to have to sweep that anyway. So I don't know, I don't know whether you guys want to
It
wait.
worked really good to go to side streets, and we partnered with him last year for $750. If it's $3,500 or under, I would make a motion to the effect that we do it. Reach out to Hamlin and go from there. If it's over, then we can bring it up next meeting. This is earlier than we've ever tried to schedule it before. We got
Right.
it last year. Decent amount of time, only a month out.
All right,
I'll second.
Brett's made a motion, Tom second, to look into getting a street sweeper and talk to the township about sharing that cost and service again. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
I'm still working with the person on Anderson Street and Todd Fantasky for their sewage issue under their house. I sent a letter to a resident on Gallup Avenue that had tore the street up redoing their sewer line, and have given them until May 15th to get it repaired. If not, we're going to contract it and the bill will be sent to him. I've discussed it with him. He realizes that's how it's going to be. The property on 14 Division Street is still not released after the fire. I talked to him last week. He said that they had their hearing or deposition, and they're waiting for a decision from the insurance company or the fire marshal. I'm not really sure. He won't come right out and say that he's been investigated, but that's what the owner actually has.
Should we be reaching out to the fire marshal and asking for the official status report from them?
Or at least them or the insurance company. 'Cause,
I have no idea whose insurance company is. There's no way for me. If he doesn't give me that information, there's
talking
no
to
way.
the fire marshal, I would say I'd have to agree with Chuck, because I've had several people ask me about it, and I know what he said.
He said, now even like he was rent to own it. I've already talked to the person who actually is on the deed, and she said as soon as it's released, they have a contractor ready to take it down.
Is that Capanos?
Yeah.
Okay. If we get something official from them, or from this fire marshal, I feel better about it, because I do have quite a few people asking.
12 Division Street, they have been given permission to start cleaning up their lot. I know she told me they took a dumpster of garbage that was piled up out back underneath the rug, and they're cleaning the inside out. So they've started theirs. And I reached out to one over. They had left furniture in front of their house. That's been taken care of. And then parking issues and sidewalk.
Or with that 12 division, the one that
Uh-huh.
caught off the other one, we need to probably keep, once the snow goes, or maybe talk to the lady that owns it, or the people.
To get that filled in.
Get that filled in
Yeah.
out front.
Yeah.
It's been too many years.
Yeah.
Of being neglected.
Yeah, well, it
Something's
should have
gotta be
been,
done with
yeah, it should have been done quite a while ago. Yeah, I will.
All right, I don't think there's anything more actionable. Did you have anything else?
Nope.
Barb?
That's all I have.
You know, being we're talking about those properties on Division, should we be looking at our ordinances and see if something should be done, like some other towns do? You purchase a house, it gets inspected. It has to meet certain criteria before it's sold, or before it's moved into, actual certificate of occupancy.
I mean, we could look
Because
at what
that
the
fire,
process
from what
is
I
for that.
heard, now I don't know, I wasn't there, there were explosions and whatever, propane tanks used to heat the house. I don't know if any of that's true, maybe somebody has a little more knowledge on it. But just for, if not the town's safety, the fireman's safety.
Well, I would recommend, decent idea, why don't you look into it and bring something actionable to council?
Well, that would be great and all, but that's kinda like why we have a lawyer.
I like, do a little research and see. before we
I did do a little
Well,
research.
all right, we'll bring some action from the council.
So what is the process by which we would get that on the books?
You would actually have to write up an ordinance for that certificate. You would actually have to have the people set up to do the inspections. Like, when I bought houses in Jersey, you had the firemen come, they would check out your fire and all that. They had an electrical contractor, they had a heating contractor. All those people came in and gave the okay,
And who pays for all of that?
the actual homeowner.
Okay.
It should not be a borough expense.
So you're gonna increase their property when they buy it by at least $3,000 then probably? That are being inspected, because it's not cheap to have inspectors come in.
No, it's not cheap, but after what happened, it's kind of,
Well, I was just wondering if that's kind of what we were thinking.
My thought is if we could have a committee meeting and actually have everything laid out instead of, this is how it used to be, here it is, and here's what other municipalities do, and here's a sample ordinance that you can look at. That's how the business meetings get
I'll
done.
send it through email, I have it.
Well, no, have a meeting, we'll
No,
sit down.
I do think we should hash it out in the meeting. I think that's a good use of our,
Doesn't need to be a business meeting.
work sessions.
Okay,
And then we can finalize exactly what it is that we want to put on people, what that cost is gonna look like for them, that we would think is reasonable, what the cost would be for us to implement this and make it happen. Just the whole process from start to finish, and we can take the time to hash that out.
Can I say something? Bradford City, that's how they do theirs.
yes.
You can go through, they have a regular inspector that, you can't move into a house, an apartment that's for rent or for sale or anything until they've gone in and checked everything.
Right, but they might have an inspector on staff.
They do.
They do,
And we
they
do not.
do,
And that's what I'm talking about as far as expenses goes. We do not have those positions here.
right.
Those would have to be contracted out, through approval. There's a lot of details that would have to be worked out to logistically implement something like this. I'm open to having that discussion and looking at it, but I agree with Brett.
Homeowners
It's a little
in
too
Bradford
much
have to pay for the inspector to
try and
come
do
in
here.
though.
What?
The homeowners in Bradford have to pay
Yes,
for
everybody
the
does.
inspector
No,
to
I'm talking
come
about
in.
to implement it and make it law here,
Right,
that process.
right.
And then understanding what the process would be for them, so we can explain it to them. So, yeah, I'd say schedule it for a work session whenever you're ready. And, we already have those on the calendar for 2 weeks after this,
I don't know, so 2 weeks after this.
and we'll get together and we'll talk it out. See what we
Yes.
come up with.
What time do we wanna?
I don't know what the work sessions were scheduled
You
for.
do the stuff.
I don't remember.
They were on a
You know
Sunday, third Sunday of the month, at 1
At
o'clock.
2 or something, wasn't it?
Thought it was 1.
I have it written down, but.
I'd have to look at.
Whatever it is, it's in the minutes, we'll find it, and
Send
then,
an email,
Yeah.
request it.
and we'll schedule it, and then we'll go from there. All right, do you have
Is
anything?
that gonna have to be advertised? It means they're going.
The
No.
work session's already been advertised,
Oh, okay.
and we're not gonna make any decisions.
No, we can't make
Right,
decisions. All right.
so we're good. Anything more on this?
No.
Motion to accept, motion report? Did we already have that?
No,
Yeah, I think we did, I don't.
the manager's report, no.
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
Chris makes a motion,
I'll second.
Brett seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Take a moment to look over the minutes. If there are no changes, they can be considered approved as they stand. Any comments on the minutes? All right, move on to the treasurer's report and payment of bills.
I'll make a motion.
I have a question. This is about last month.
Go ahead.
Look, we paid to unemployment
Yep.
for Lori?
Yes.
Paid unemployment.
She filed against us, we have to pay it. We have submitted it for reimbursement through our coverage. We have to pay it out until such time as they decide.
So you're not fighting it?
You can't fight it. It was already given to her before we were notified.
We were only notified after the fact. that
Yeah,
she
she
had
actually had an employer afterwards, so you can't fight it.
They're on a different, on the same
Yeah,
court.
it just came back to us because she had not been employed with them as long, so we sent it back to the previous employer.
So you're saying she worked someplace else?
Well, that's what we
Yeah.
think. We weren't given anything to fill out, and normally that you would be if it was just
We're
us.
gonna continue this conversation in detail.
Right.
We
No, I
can't,
don't plan on going
we
into
can't go into any further detail, but
No.
that's
We
where
have,
we're at.
we paid the solvency fee. They've put in for us to be reimbursed, but he said it would take a while
And we have
because
not
it goes
heard
through
back.
the state, so.
That's where we're at on that.
Oh, okay.
So as we do hear back, we will let council know.
I also mentioned that these things come out about a week ahead of time. If you have questions like that, send an email.
I already have a motion on the floor from Brett to accept the treasurer's report. Payment of bills, seconded by Chris. Any additional comments? All those in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Move on to the committee report, maintenance of streets and buildings.
Brett, do you wanna bring us further down the Spring Street on the east end?
Yeah. Alright, so we have an issue on US Route 6 in the area of the Assembly of God Church and the East End Pump Station for the sewer system. There is a storm sewer drain that connects the north side of Route 6 to the south side of Route 6. Being that this storm sewer is in the curved area of a borough, it is considered borough infrastructure. The state pushed this unfunded mandate on municipalities years ago on specifically boroughs, not townships, just boroughs, from what I understand. It's approximately a 20-inch sanitary or storm sewer line. It's steel. I've had the state there, at least the night foreman. They have no information as to the date that it was installed, but it's galvanized. It's rusted out. Borough guys pulled the storm drain to the south side. We went in, we took pictures. The seam is folded up. Approximately 200,000 gallons of water a day are running underneath Route 6, and it's getting into the storms or the sanitary sewer, which is a sewer issue, and we are currently in contact with contractors to get it replaced, or at least bored under to get a new sewer line so that the water is no longer going into our pump station, which at times is overflowing, and we contact DEP about when we have heavy flow. The other problem is, it appears that PennDOT isn't going to do anything about this. Now, there's 16 inches of concrete and 8 inches of blacktop on Route 6 in that area, and if that amount of water is going underneath the roads, I'm assuming there's a void there, because that amount of water is going to move an incredible amount of soil. So I plan to tomorrow contact the state representatives and the state senators in regards to this. Wouldn't particularly have a problem if we actually got liquid fuel money for state routes, being this infrastructure is under the roads. And we've had success in the past when I've called for storm drains to be replaced, where the state would come in and do the work and send us a bill or work something out in good faith with us and get it taken care of. Because what they've stated in the past was the top belongs to us, but everything below belongs to you. Well, the top's collapsing my bottom, so you need to fix yours because it's collapsed. What I'm very afraid of is that Mount Jewett turns into the next Palestine, Ohio. We have a lot of gasoline tankers, a lot of propane tankers going through town. I don't know if it's a hole the size of this water bottle or a hole the size of this room underneath Route 6. We don't know. And just to bore the sewer line underneath Route 6 without digging it up and set some manholes, go under 200 feet. The bid that we got today, or the quote we got today, because it's an emergency situation, was, I haven't got it in email, but the gentleman called me and said $47,000. So if we trenched Route 6 across, even to redo that 20-inch pipe is probably going to be $5,000. So, not on the storm drains and blocking the water and traffic control and all that comes into it when you get in with the state. So I'm hoping that a little pressure from this municipality and possibly PSAB, because they do have a committee that I sat on at one point in time that sends borough's concerns to a lobbyist that we all pay for to Harrisburg, which is unfortunate. But if we get a group like that involved and a couple other municipalities are doing the same thing, maybe we can catch some traction. So I'm really hopeful that, we get something done. At this point in time, mainly for the sewer, get that, the bleed stopped and then come up with a plan. There's no sinking, there's no sagging, there's no indication that anything's wrong, but common sense would tell you that probably is. And the unfortunate part is we're probably 100 feet from the uncurbed area that PennDOT would take care of. So,
Brett, there's a bill in front of the legislature right now to repeal that.
oh, that's great. So
Marty Causer sent that today in an email.
somebody must have said
So
something to
it's
him
to
because I haven't
repeal,
talked
it's to
him yet.
repeal that the boroughs are responsible for what's underneath the
Well, we
road.
can't be the only ones who run it.
Well, yeah, I think the Port Allegheny have a problem, but I did talk to the gentleman from PennDOT the other day, and they told him I plan on getting all the state reps, because this is ridiculous. If they gave us liquid fuel, that'd be great, but they don't.
I'm not sure what other municipalities, I know Countersport had a big can of worms here a year or two ago, and they were up there, but correct me if I'm wrong, but we've been having a lot of trouble for many, many years on East Main Street with that pump station, and they have put, it's been a money pit. A can of worms, we put a lot of money in that, and it's been, and still it can't alleviate it, so this problem that we're having now is probably what has been precipitating this all along, am I right?
It's, the way I look at it right now, the pump's not shutting off 201,000 gallons of water, and I used to run the water system in Jewett, 100,000 gallons a day for all the way to Lance Corners. After they fixed the leak, it was 50, so I'm assuming the area of town that drains somewhere in the neighborhood of 20,000, maybe, so let's say 50,000 is coming from homes, 150 is coming from that pipe.
We need to get to the bottom of it, literally and figuratively, whatever it is, because that's been an ongoing problem, and they put an awful lot of money in that pump station, and it still can't handle the volume. Whatever it takes, I guess.
Yeah, that's the main can of worms right now. Secondary, I'm gonna bring this up. Talked with Barbara, talked with Rick. We've had some issues with the 2020 gasoline engine F550. Right now, we are in the process of getting information as far as possibly divesting that truck and replacing it with a diesel, barring the trade-in values and things of that nature. If we can get $60,000, $65,000, $70,000 out of that truck and flip it out of here, it's a good truck, it's just not built for our needs. Small financing for this for 2 years and then flip our blue truck, which the way we've been doing things for the past 18 years is we get one under payment, as soon as that one's ready to be paid off, we get another one. This red truck, we've had more problems with. I'd rather divest of that, wait 2 years or even another year, see what the financing window is. These trucks are about $100,000 now. When we started buying trucks, we bought that maroon F550, I want to say it was 59 grand. That was back in 05. So try and get it in a window that's manageable, $1,000 a month payments. But, once we get all the information, I'll be bringing that to council.
Well, speaking of that truck, just so you're all here, I'll let you know, they had to order a new antifreeze tank for it.
Reverend?
Yeah. The little place where the hose plugs in, it's snapped off.
I missed that today.
Yeah, they took me out before they left to show me it. They ordered it. It's about $200. They ordered it from.
They're gonna make it through the storm tonight.
Yes, but tomorrow morning it'll be at Zook's, and I told them if they were busy cleaning up and they couldn't get over, that I would run over and get it for them. So.
I gotta go to camp too.
Oh, okay. All right. Just thought I'd let you know as long as you were talking about it.
Sweet.
Anything additional on streets and buildings? All right, move on to finance and insurance. I'll wait till Chris's coughing to move to her.
Sorry.
She's all choked.
I am all choked up.
This is your moment.
I know, and I don't want to, but, Barb was kind enough to give me up a little bit of a budget update to see where we were at, so we could decide where we wanted to pull the money out for the sidewalk project and for the project for the Eads group. I just wanna reiterate that we still need to kind of keep our bills kind of tight and our spending kind of tight and to the best. And other than that, that's about all I have tonight.
Those ARPA funds, that $4,000 in there, is that after we've received all of the ARPA funds we're going to get? We've spent everything other than 4,000,
We need to put the 44,000.
Yeah, remember we took that,
and we borrowed.
Yeah.
What about the county allotment, does that come in? or do
you
what?
spend it and then they give it to you. There's a form you have to fill out after you've spent it, and then they'll send you the money.
Okay.
20,000 for recreation and
38 or
38 something for,
Well, it sounds like a
Blight.
good place to pull from the money that we need for designing things, a little bit.
That's fine, yeah.
Especially, 20,000, that's all we can use it for. Is parks related stuff. Okay, is that it, Chris? Do you have anything else?
That's all.
All right, we'll move on to personnel. Right?
I reached out to the employees last week, I heard nothing back, so I'm assuming that everything is okay. Barb, do you have any comments? So-
Nope, everything's good.
They told me today that you got your message, that you said everything's very
Well,
good.
I passed them on the street, if there had been anything important, they probably would have flagged me down,
Or
so
throw something. Or throw something, maybe.
maybe.
Depends on how he's
They've been
doing.
working pretty hard on busting up that ice.
Yes, we
Yeah,
were.
they were.
Oh, that's something, oh, go ahead.
I'll bring it up as
You can
far
bring it
as-
up.
I told them today, cause they, working their butts off, trying to get that taken care of, that if they have to, like, they're after, they use so many hours on overtime plowing the streets, he felt he didn't wanna stay any longer and take care of that. And I told them, if they're willing to stay longer, my personal self, and I'm head of streets, I told them I don't think there should be an issue to use the overtime to get it off there when it's the most simplest to do it. I mean.
That's what I told them too.
It's a much more efficient.
They were worried about- They were worried about people saying something about them being up
Right.
here cleaning the sidewalks and getting paid overtime for it. Cause they said they could have come up like Sunday morning and cleaned it all up and,
Well, now the people see how they spend about 5 hours chopping ice,
Right,
Right, and it
instead of what, 2 hours of overtime?
right.
Mr. Robin, did you have something?
Yeah, I do. It's regarding the maintenance guys.
Right.
I wasn't here last month, but I saw them do something, and they were asked to do something that was normally not something that they would do. They went out of their way, above and beyond, and I sat back and watched this. They never frowned, they never complained or anything, so those people who think that the maintenance crew will not go above and beyond what they're expected, they will. And they're a bunch of good guys, they really are, and it's,
Well, we definitely have a really good crew right
Yeah,
now.
we do.
Yeah.
Our entire team, Barb included, it's a fantastic
Yeah.
group that keeps us running. I'm gonna include Barb, because she's part of the team. that keeps
Thank
us
you,
running.
thank you.
she was part of it.
Somebody's gotta put the whip on those boys.
It's an important job. All right, is that it, Chuck?
Yes.
Personnel?
That's it.
We'll move on to community development planning and parks, Frank?
Oh, no. Well, I guess we'll set up a meeting sometime this month. I have 2 people that are showing interest.
I have like
Anybody tell
3
me
or
who
4.
anybody of these people are?
Oh, Ed Fisher and Sean, Young, I think.
Sky Ogden.
Yeah, well, Sean
Uh,
Young is moving, so he
I can't remember
won't be
who.
in.
I didn't know. He just expressed interest
I know,
back when we started
They're
talking about
moving to
this.
Smithport.
Somebody
so-
had emailed, let me see if I can find it real quick. Lisa Leshner's interested. And then I've talked to other people who've said, well, maybe so.
Where would we have a meeting? Would we have it here at the borough?
We could have it at the library, there's room there. We could have it here.
I'm just asking because,
Do we wanna
Yes,
set the
yeah.
park, do we wanna approve the park members before we have the meetings and everything? So then they can go ahead and start their business then? Do we have to approve the park members like we do for the other boards that we have?
I guess that's something we can discuss because,
we could probably discuss that at the first meeting.
well, but we discuss it here because my take on this right now is, this is just my opinion. This advisory committee has no authority of any kind.
No.
Right now. They are just advising us.
Right.
With their ideas and pitches and bringing things like that. So I don't know that it's necessary for us to have any direct oversight as to who is a part of that body
Okay,
at this
that's fine.
point. Because I want to leave that open to anybody who's interested.
Right.
Now, if that were to change and evolve and we were to give them any sort of authority, we would have to change that structure.
Okay, fair
That's my thought.
They start raising funds and set up a committee like they had years ago where they had a couple $1,000, they
Yeah.
raised it, they fundraised and spent it.
I think they even had a budget from us at
Yeah.
one point.
An allotment, and if we're gonna do that, then I would advise.
Yeah.
We set it up, we have it so that it's kinda like the banner committee where it's under the borough, it's run through us, the checks are cut here so that it's audited. But if we're gonna allow people to spend their money without us, then we should
No.
create a committee.
Correct.
Marilyn, are you thinking about getting on the park committee?
Oh, yeah, Fred knows that.
Well, I wasn't sure, I didn't hear your.
Oh, we haven't heard
I
anybody.
think Lynette also has expressed
Some
interest.
members from,
Yeah, we have several members from the coalition that,
I forget, did Linda say
some other
something?
state boosters. They have the names, I'm sorry.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
She had voiced, some interest in it, but I know, my thoughts on this, are, to have members of the borough, members of the Rotary, members from the coalition, the
And that's
sports
how we're trying to
boosters,
design it.
and have, input from
Everybody.
everybody.
Right.
Then we would come back to you guys and say, hey, these
Okay.
are our
As far as I'm
ideas,
concerned,
what do you think?
As long as
You
it's
know.
structured like that, and that's what
Okay,
it's
that's fine.
Let
I
them-
just
let
was
them
kind
govern
of confused
themselves.
how it was gonna go.
But that could change it as time passes. Did you have anything additional, Frank?
Well, considering, no,
All right, we will move on to the fire department. Fire department did not have a quorum, so they just kind of planned for gun bash and discussed things in an informal way. So nothing actionable happened there. The library, I think, was pretty well covered. Are there any issues at the library the borough needs to be aware of? The building or the snow, or is all that going? Oh, I have one thing to bring up. I guess I could bring it up to Barb, but I'll just bring it up real quick. When our guys are doing the sidewalk, they're probably gonna need to go all the way to Kesey's driveway on that side, because technically that's borough property. At least to the edge of his driveway, just so it's a.
Okay.
But other than that, I don't have anything on the library. I think Brett covered the main sewer related issue.
Mhm.
Not sure what's going on there. Madam Mayor's not here. I'm unaware of an update on the township sewer committee, or do you have, anybody have one?
I would just like to say we've kind of done our preliminary work, and right now, we're still, like I said, going through the preliminaries. It's not looking like we want to take it over, but there's nothing set in stone yet, but we are still definitely looking into it, but right now, it's preliminary, and it's gonna be a no, we're taking it over, unless we find out other information.
Okay.
That's just the preliminary.
No, I appreciate that update. All right, if nobody has anything else on committees, we'll move on to old business. We've talked about the bike racks many, many times. Anybody have anything new on that? On to the record of video meetings. We have got this set up, so the way this is working, we are recording now. When this is done, we will be able to download this video for the purpose of open records. We will have it on file here at the borough if anyone needs to see it. We additionally have set up a YouTube page for the borough, and the video will be uploaded to the YouTube page so that if anybody's looking for it out in the public, they can easily find it and access it. It will still be on the Facebook page, but it's much harder to find things because they tend to get lost on Facebook. So we're going to have it available in a lot of different ways for anybody who wants to see it, and we are going to be retaining it in compliance with all open record laws.
I advise it, or just recommend that we send this out to the news outlets as well, especially for this first run. Hey, here's our meetings, here's where you can find them. If we can't send a correspondent,
We'll take a look at it.
First Monday every month.
If the video turns out okay, I would be interested in Barb acquiring like a tripod or something so we can, right now we've set it up, but if we could just have something stable so that it can be positioned wherever and it's the same every time. They're not very expensive, but just, once we're, kind of like what Teresa has right now for hers, so it's a nice stable foundation. Shout out, Teresa. All right, moving on to the funds for designs for next phase for the sidewalks. We did talk about that briefly. You said they should come from the ARPA funds was a recommendation. We also talked about the 20,000 designated parks. So, as a council, what do we think?
No, the sidewalks, I think we should take it from our,
Oh, sorry,
from the
I
CDs.
don't want to speak for you.
No, that's okay.
Did we have anything close to an estimate on what the engineering on that would be?
I don't. I know last time it was $2,000, but I'm sure it's gonna be more than that now.
Probably.
Right now, we have, the capital improvement account, we've got $15,000. And in our general fund through Pliget, we have $22,000. And we have our CDs, that we have some money, I believe there's some money market in that too, that we could use. But I think we gotta take it either out of one of those three accounts, because I think that's something majorly important we should do, is finish those sidewalks.
Oh, I agree. I don't think we should stop where we're at, especially on that end over there.
I would recommend the, capital improvements right now,
Okay,
and, you know, as I said before,
right.
we don't know what we're going to owe for the
this
remainder of
project.
this
Okay,
sidewalk
that's
project.
That's true.
And then we can use either the Pliget account or borrow against our CDs. Not a fan of just taking it.
If we
and trying to
borrow
make
again,
that
yeah, we do
one
need to
share.
have a repayment plan in place.
But right now for $2,500, $3,500 bucks,
Okay, that's
it's there. We're not on the hook, and then at least we'll know what we have here. Maybe we decide, look at it, see what we wanna pay ourselves back, 0 interest off our CDs or a loan, but I just don't wanna see them ever go away.
No, I don't understand that.
And yeah, I mean, at any time as we would decide to take from a CD, we should come up with a prepayment plan and immediately adopt it, even if there's a delay before we
So
restart.
I'm gonna wait a year, that's fine, but
As long as it's on the books and we're locked in and we're at least promising to do it. So, do we want to put that in the form of a motion?
sure, we don't have the price yet.
We don't.
Hmm.
We can wait. We're not in a rush. We'll wait. Okay. Anybody have anything additional under old business?
Why don't you just put a cap on it?
Cap on what?
There's no hurry. The
Oh,
grant
okay.
doesn't open till May.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, once we get an estimate, we can ballpark it from there. Because it may have dramatically gone up, just like,
Maybe 10 grand.
Well,
Everything
and he
else.
said he has a lot from when we did it before, because remember when we first did it, we were gonna try all of
Okay,
it
yeah, they might already have it done.
When it opens, how long do you have to,
till the end of July, I believe.
okay.
It goes, it's gonna move pretty quick.
Yeah.
Never mind.
okay. Any additional on old business? We'll move on to new business. This is probably new for a lot of you. This is something, Borough Manager office space. What this is we're in a shared space here. The sewer authority has a closed office for them to conduct business, and they can discuss, they can even talk about people's names, whatever it is, in private, because they have a door and walls and an office. Barb does not have that luxury. She is kind of out in the open. So, I would propose, that we come up with some way, and I'm not sure what that is, to afford her privacy as needed, or if I come in and we have something we have to talk about that maybe involves a specific citizen, and we don't want to be doing it where anyone can walk in. Right now, if she has to talk privately, she has to hum over the phone and talk quietly and hope no one hears it, and it's just, I don't think that's an ideal situation or altogether necessary, that she has to work that way, or any of the rest of us who might have something private, borough business to discuss.
Even if she's a borough manager, you can pull an employee and talk to them,
Exactly.
things of that nature. Tom, you think you could give us a rough idea what something like that might cost, how we can do it? I'm not asking you to give an official bid, just tell us what we're looking at.
We have to decide what area you going with, so.
Yeah, maybe give us an idea, this would work, and this is what we could expect, but nothing that would affect the bid or anything, just
And when I talked to Barbara,
how could we do it?
she's even open to the idea of her space moving back to, where code
You
enforcement
could
was.
throw me wherever you want. I don't
So
care.
we can kind of rearrange the room as well, if that somehow helps with,
But now
Design
she
and
has to have a private meeting, she can always come to this side and close the door.
she can, but.
Yeah.
I understand about her needing, yeah.
And right now she can do that, or she can go in the garage, and it's just,
Yeah,
I just feel, and if it's something that we don't think is something we can do right now, that's fine. I just brought it up because I think that would be beneficial.
I like the idea of it, just trying to figure out where it fits in our fiscal plan and what it's gonna cost.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the whole
If
thing.
it's
And maybe it
10
does.
grand,
Where's
if
the
it's
money? Yeah.
5,000, and
Where-
where
not
we're
only
at,
that.
so we know, and maybe it's something that we budget for next year.
Maybe we slide it under old business under bike racks, and we just look at it for 2 years.
I mean, we just stick the bike racks up there.
No, they're not here yet.
They're not here.
Sorry, Chris.
what about like a cubicle type of wall, or now to see if that would work before
Possibly.
you invest a lot of money.
No, that would stop the
Sure.
voice.
I'm going to make a comment here that's probably gonna go over like a lead balloon. The biggest problem is the door doesn't stay closed. It should be closed and it does not need to be opened into the rented office space. If that door were closed, only unless that individual needs to come in and use the restroom facility, I'm more in favor of also the main door was a long time ago, it was deemed that was supposed to be locked, that public access we weren't supposed to just anybody, it was more of a safety concern for the employees.
There's more issues than
No,
just.
I'm sorry, you have your chance for rebuttal here in a minute, okay? All right, I'm more in line to say that people still have entry into the foyer and another door be placed into the rented office space, and that would be their access, and the only reason that anybody would have to come into this office space is if that person in that rented space needed to use the restroom and keep our area more sequestered. You're talking about putting up walls and spaces and keep the darn door closed in the first place, because that's how it was supposed to be set up. The business is being discussed. We shouldn't have to come into this room or go into the truck room or go outside to discuss the business for fear that somebody in a rented office space can hear us. And that's what this is all boiling down to, so let's just get it out in the open.
It's not just that, John. Now,
That's what triggered it, that's what
listen,
precipitated it.
This is a public office space.
Yes, it is.
If we have meetings with the park committee or with whomever during the day, the sewer committee's having their meeting in
Yes.
this room, we need a sequestered office where you come have somebody in there, have a conversation, whether it's the maintenance supervisor and the borough manager talking about an employee's performance, or what have you, personnel sitting down and talking to the borough manager about her performance, where it's an area that it can be closed off. The boys have their garage, the sewer has theirs, she has hers, and then that way, if we use this office for the public function, like the luncheon, if checks and
Alright.
legal financial paperwork are on the
I
table,
understand, I agree
you
with
can
that.
lock it,
Yeah.
and it's done, and Barb has her area, she has hers, we have our meeting, the sewer has their meeting, Rick has his desk, he can lock that and manipulate these doors. Everybody has their area for which to do business. It's not just one issue, it's everything. So I think it's more than that, and even locking that door, that's fine, but if we allow people in and we're having a committee meeting, and then we have a sensitive borough matter that comes up, she, Jason, whoever should be able to go into that room and not have to worry about, well, I'll call you back because we have 20 people in here for some sort of meeting. You know what I mean? It can be dealt with in a private setting. Office space, I don't care if we blow this door up, because I don't think we need private. We used to have the water office in here, put a bulkhead, put this in, and make this one meeting room, and we leave that the office space. You can do what you need to do, and I think this room could stand to be bigger and have that dedicated office spaces, this dedicated council chambers and sewer chambers, but let's give everybody their private space, not just the sewer, but Barb and anything, so that business can be displaced as it needs to be. Because if you're having a privileged conversation with the attorney, and we have a park committee meeting here, that's troublesome.
We don't lock that door no more.
No,
I didn't know we were
Not the
supposed
first one,
to.
the second one.
yeah, because it's been it.
I didn't know we were supposed to. We didn't before I
have for a
left,
while.
and I
We
We
didn't.
had for a while,
Yeah.
because,
We didn't before I left,
yes,
and I wasn't told to when I came back, so I didn't know we
did
were
when Barb
supposed
wasn't
to.
here.
yes.
Well, how about this? Are we willing to explore options for how to create such a space? Maybe Tom, if you would be willing to ballpark, kind of look at it, and ballpark some numbers at us. So we have
Options.
some idea.
Ballpark some options,
Some
either,
options.
take what used to be the ordinance office area, or if you put Barb's office over there, she's gonna be totally without our natural light. I don't know,
Yeah.
but if you keep it over in the area where she is now, at least she'll
Well,
have,
she's also got the window there.
that's what I mean, she'll have
Yeah.
natural light. But to at least look at some options for, including putting another door into the rented space in the foyer.
That way we at least have some numbers to think about as far as, can we fund this, how much would this cost?
And I
Is it
think
something
we
can do?
kinda gotta go about this the right way too, because you don't wanna hurt feelings.
You gotta work with everybody in an
You
office.
guys, that's right, but you know where I'm coming, you don't wanna say, we're gonna this, and this, you give them the impression that we don't trust them.
No, and
We
I,
really gotta be, you can't
I
let
do-
them
No, there are
to us.
certain things that just don't need to fall on anybody's ears, but
but I.
Either
I-
that,
I do
even
believe
papers just sitting on the
conversations
desk,
are important.
you
Yeah.
know?
The other
Cause like
thing-
right now, my desk, anybody can go on it and,
The other thing that needs to be seriously looked at is this building's been here since the sixties, the guys are in the basement. Some of the beams, not in the greatest shape, we got electrical issues through some conduits. This might be a figure, hey, a 5-year plan on, this building kinda needs some upgrades, you know, if you stand out there, when you walk here, go on the other side by the bathroom door, and look where that mat drawer is, and look at the bow in the floor. I mean, there might be some stuff going on here that we might wanna go, maybe we need to think about doing some restoration as a whole to this area and getting it.
There's funding out there for that.
But we look at it over X amount of years, like, okay, we'd like to have this office space, but we get in, go down the basement, look at those beams and go, God, this rotted out, maybe we need to tear this down, move her to this side for a while and the sewer office, do something temporary here, got that side, you know, but let's look at it as a whole because this building doesn't get a lot of love and attention. We put floors in, we put a roof on, we put a furnace in, and, you know, we just take this one for granted. We've done a lot at the library with new HVAC and flooring and bathrooms and things. This building,
So are we comfortable with our guys and us doing the building assessment?
yeah, I mean, if they get with Tommy, nobody else in town, are we
Cool with
that? He knows what he's doing, just look at it, let's get a real world, what do we need?
So, yeah, I mean, I think that's a good idea, then we have, like you said, a 5-year plan, frame it out however financially is responsible. And so that's part of it, but then the overall thing is making sure we're a safe building and it's best designed for how we currently use it, because it has changed over the years, how this building has been
This
used.
was water office, that was a cop shop, that was a borough
Right.
sewer. I mean, it's-
So we're just making do with what we
out
have.
there.
And there's probably a more efficient way to use this space. All right. Anybody else have anything more on that discussion? All right, last thing here, I put on here, options to promote trail and park of the year Mount Jewett. I've been talking to all the organizations about it. I don't know what these options are. But this is a landmark opportunity for Mount Jewett. The people on our trail club have done an incredible feat in accomplishing the Trail of the Year as a designation at the exact same time that the Kinzu Bridge Park has Park of the Year designation for the state. These are incredible honors and may never come again. And the fact that they're coinciding right here and we are the gateway to all of that. We should take advantage of that as a tourism type of draw, as an investment type of draw. I have talked to the coalition and Rotary about maybe trying to do some sort of, some sort of business-based luncheon to try and draw in people to talk about the potential of our community as a place to open a business and look to the future of, you know, obviously we're up and coming in some ways. This trail's coming together. It's being recognized. The park is doing better than ever. It's being recognized, and we're right here in the heart of it, and we need to get I'm willing to get in front of anybody and talk about it. You know, the future is bright here, and I don't know how we do it. I talked to the Trail Club about t-shirts, just saying that they've accomplished the Trail of the Year, you know, just to promote that. I don't know, if we put a freaking banner on 6 or something. I mean, we should be ridiculously touting this achievement as a town. I'm not saying the borough has to do all or any of this, but as a community, we should be thrilled about this, and we should take advantage of the momentum it gives us to do everything we can to bolster and build up the community in the town.
We should be contacting the PSAB and see if they would do some type of a profile in the magazine and ask them what they have in terms of promotion from the PSAB standpoint. Everything is, and I don't have the answer to this, is how we can trigger some major investment from speculators or people who are willing to, I mean, there's a lot of great ideas, there's a lot of great opportunities available for the right investors. There's gotta be some way to market towards investors who would be looking to come in and say, you know, you've got B&Bs and, you know, this would be a great place for X type of business.
Right.
Yeah, there's got to be,
That's what I want to
people
brainstorm,
that we can look to that try to promote that for cities and towns our size. Perhaps the PSAB might be somewhere to start with this.
Well, Chuck, to that point, you said marketing. maybe there's a marketing firm, we talked to them about, maybe the borough lays out some money directly to marketing Mount Jewett and the available properties and get it out there. That'd be like small town. Yeah, the building's just gutted, but you might be able to buy it for 10 grand. Yeah, you put it
I will say,
in
on the marketing side, the Trail Club was reached out to by, the visitor centers at all the state borders. And they're going to be putting promotional cards for the trail at every visitor center as people come into the state.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean,
You see them all over, they have everything, you hit the state lines and they've got every tourist trap in the state has their little
but
spot.
they do work.
Yes,
maybe there's a trade magazine or that's something you
Yeah.
can get something into. If we put a little money out, maybe we'll get somebody interested.
Yeah, I just want us to kind of keep marinating on that, ideas like this, bring them forth. If anybody thinks of any contacts, magazines, whatever it is, I really think this is a huge opportunity for us. So we need to constantly be aware of how can we capitalize on this for our community. That's all I have on that. In fact, unless anybody else has anything, that's all I have for the business portion of our meeting.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Well,
Yeah.
before we do that,
Oh, so this is not business.
we do have the public response section. Did you have something,
Yeah,
Frank?
no, I forgot that.
Did you have something? I thought I heard you say something.
Oh, I had nothing.
Okay. Public response to what we discussed in this meeting. Yes, ma'am.
Definitely the best of the best, when they connect the cane trail to us, and we discussed this last month, this is going to be a big boom. Jason and myself have gone to other business owners that have businesses in other towns, and their biggest concern right now is you have workers. And that is a big concern, not just, and that's before they'll even step foot here, they know, and I can't magically.
I got people.
I don't know, but that's the biggest concern. If anybody knows Costa's Hardware, the owners or anything, I feel that our convenience store now changed to a grocery store, could be half hardware, half deli, like grocery store, and
Already charged too.
yeah.
Good work.
Yeah, you can always make another approach to other entities. You say you talked to Costas at one time?
I didn't, somebody else.
Well, and I spoke with, Foley and Bradford. No, the
Where's
hardware
Smith?
people.
First
Will
step.
Smith,
Were Smith, and they actually came in and looked at it, and then the numbers weren't there to substantiate it. But that doesn't mean it's not worth revisiting. You gotta try somewhere, I mean, Dollar General was supposed to come in, was supposed to be here in town, and we see where it went.
Dollar Tree.
No, Dollar General.
Dollar General was supposed
I don't know, it was my building they wanted.
Well, it might have been both of them, but Dollar General.
People that contacted me were Dollar Tree.
If
they're
we plant
owned
the
by the
Dollar
same
General
people.
bag, that's where they grow, so.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of them.
you do that.
Anything else from the public for public response? Hey, now I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Still make.
I'll second.
Brett, Chris, first and second, all those in favor?
Chuck, we
Hey,
argued in a meeting, you wanna go?
we stand adjourned.
Yes.
Probably should see
Yeah.
the picture, it's gonna
I'll buy
be.
you an egg.
Yeah.
Okay, I stop it.
It's
It's snowy.